Alright, welcome back to another video. For this video, I'm going to be highlighting the bias for Monday, if there's any, for all the assets available. Hopping over to the daily chart, let's start off with bonds. Right now for bond futures, I'm looking for bearish price action, but I would like to see at least 50% of this range to be traded to the highlighted area, because it's the 4-hour invalidation. So if I'm going to remain bearish, I do not want to see price trade above this 4-hour swing high. So I'm anchoring this invalidation to the current low that is going to give me the current dealing range for lower prices, which is what I'm looking for on bonds. As of this point, I don't think it's going to trade up to 50% today, but maybe tomorrow. Up next, we have Nasdaq. So Nasdaq, ES, and YM is probably going to share the same analysis. I am bullish for the three assets, or mainly the indices futures for today, because we have closed above the down close candle that has traded into a previous down close candle, which traded into the last down close candle that took out stops, as well as trading into a bullish fair value gap. These two down close candles traded into the previous fair value gap as well. So I'm going to follow through with the order flow. Any retracements into this down close candle, I would look to take long positions. I've highlighted the invalidation on the 4 hours. So over here we have a swing low, even though it's not a low because the opening price is the same as the low, right? But it's still a swing low, right? So for this, I've anchored the invalidation point right here and to the current high. I would like to see at least 50% of the dealing range to be traded to before considering any longs. Okay, so this is going to be the same for ES. If we take a look at the daily candle and then dropping down into the 4-hour candle, it's basically the same thing. And then for Dow Jones, same thing as well, from the daily and then dropping down into the 4 hours. All right, now moving on, we have the euro. For the euro, I don't really have anything, because right now we are closing below 50% of this down close candle, which indicates bearishness. So I don't want to have any bias for this particular asset for now, or at least for today. All right, I'm going to see how this daily candle paints at the end of the day, which means the following day I'm going to take a look at this candle. Do we close back up above the 50%, or do we close below these two down close candles, right? I mean, these two up close candles. It remains to be seen. Same thing for British pound, because it's pretty much the same as the euro dollar. We are trading into a rather deep discount of this bullish order block that was utilized to send the price higher above the swing high on this particular day itself, which is Thursday. So I'll be staying on the sidelines for both of these assets for today. For New Zealand dollar, right now it's showing pretty much the same thing as the euro and British pound, so I'm not going to do anything right here. For Australian dollar, it is slightly different. Okay, so we have traded into this down close candle on Tuesday prior to the run higher. However, if we take a look at the 4 hours, did we take out this high? No, we left this high right here. Okay, so this is the different thing. This is the different part, right? We left this highs over here. Look at the high. And then it traded back down into OTE on the 4 hours. So if we take a look at this candle here, which is on Tuesday all the way to the current price action on the 4 hours. So Tuesday was down here. We formed a higher low and then we expanded higher. As we are expanding higher, this would be the invalidation for higher prices. Make sense? So anchoring the fibs, it didn't really come back into discount until it when it traded up into this point right here, and then discount was right here. So we came back down on Friday, taking out a short-term low, which is also OTE right here. And then right now we are expanding higher again, so we are making higher highs again. So I'm interested in taking a long position in the Australian dollar futures for today / tomorrow. All right, looking for this relative equal highs up here. And I want to see if we can trade back into 50% from this low, which is the 4-hour low, to whatever high that it wants to form later on. All right, I will need price to trade into at least 50%, before I drop down into the lower time frames to look for the change in the state of delivery or an OTE entry on the lower time frames. Okay, this is going to be my goal for today and probably even tomorrow, right, for Australian dollar futures. Okay, so I'm just going to leave the daily range here, right, and then moving on, Japanese yen, we are technically shifting bearish, but we left equal highs up here, so I won't be too quick to short this particular asset. I'll sit on my hands for now. For Canadian dollar, it has traded into a bullish fair value gap, and then this is a swing low. So from low to high, we are right now in discount. Okay, let's see if there's any levels to attack above here. Well, we do have this breaker, but we have traded into a higher time frame breaker right here. Did we tag the opening price of the breaker? That's the question. Or the closing price, or the body of the breaker, did we tag into it? No, not yet. Okay, so for this one, let's take a look at the 4 hours. What do we have here? All right, so if we are bullish, we are not anticipating price to trade below this swing low. And then right now we are, let's take a look to see if discount was offered before. Right, so it's the same scenario as the Australian dollar. Discount was not offered until we traded up into this point and then retraced lower. Let me see if we are in OTE range right now. Yeah, price is respecting the OTE range. It traded a higher low. Let's take a look at Australian dollar. Okay, so Australian dollar made a lower low, right? But we haven't shifted bullish in terms of order flow on the 4 hours. Okay, so I'm just gonna put this on hold and I'll monitor this because I need to see a change in the market structure, or at least a change in the order flow on the 4 hours before considering dropping down into the lower time frames to look for a long position. So there is one of two things that the 4 hours must do. Either it closes above the down close candles, consecutive down close candles right here, or it forms a short-term high and then we trade above that short-term high. Okay, because if you take a look at the Australian dollar, it has traded above a short-term high right here, which is why I am willing to engage in this particular asset as compared to Canadian dollar. All right, there's no short-term highs taken and there is no engulfing up close candles as well for now. Okay, so I'll put this on hold and I'll continue to monitor. That would be in my interest. For oil, I mentioned on the weekly time frame, I would be neutral because we are trading into a higher time frame premium from this range high to this range low, and we have equal lows down here with equal highs up here. So this itself could be accumulation, and then I'm not sure if this this run up is manipulation trading back into OT for lower prices, I'm not too sure, right? So I'm just going to sit on my hands for crude oil for now. Okay, and then moving on, we have the last one, which is gold. So for gold, we have taken out sell side and then we displaced higher. We have not offered discount since we traded into this swing high right here on the daily, right? On the daily. So dropping down into the 4 hours, let me just take a look to see if we have offered discount prior, basing off the 4 hours invalidation. So we did trade into discount prior to the run higher right here. So I can't safely say that I'm going to go long on gold, even though it's bullish order flow on the daily. At the same time, the 4 hours has yet to form a bullish market structure right now. Okay, as you can see, we have consecutive down close candles. Order flow is very bearish. We don't see the same reaction on the green candles in terms of a V-shaped recovery just yet. So I'm gonna stay on the sidelines for gold as well. So after all the analysis that is done for all the available assets that I'm willing to trade right now, Australian dollar seems to be the best candidate for a trade setup on Monday and maybe into Tuesday. So I'm gonna keep my focus on this particular asset, and then let's see what happens. If anything happens at all, then I'll do a recording or I don't know, a live stream. It all depends. Alright, and that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed this and have a great day.